Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Trina Wilson. I am your Suburban Balance Head Planner, and I'm also a Suburban Balance parent. I am super excited to be surrounded around a group of world changers and also future voters. So I am so blessed to be here today on your Suburban Balance Senior and College Day. Thank you for having me, and I am here to inform you about voting and how important it is to exercise your right to vote. I want to ask you, beautiful people, have you heard of the Voting Rights Act of 1965? Nobody? Okay. Well, I want to tell you that the Voting Rights of 1965 is a landmark piece of the federal legislation in the United States that prohibits racial discrimination in voting. So, this right was made for us to make sure that everybody, no matter what color you are, goes and exercise their rights to vote. You have the right to vote. So, with that being said, during this time, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. expressed that the dream was magnification of hope that humanity might one day get its own way of finding the courage to realize that love and nonviolence are not indicators of weakness, but gifts of significant strength. This is what Dr. Martin Luther King said after the Voting Rights Act of 1965 was passed. He's always expressing how love and nonviolence is an indicator of how to get together and get things done correctly, and how all people, everybody, all humans can have the same equal rights. Isn't this man amazing? I love him. Also, another major motivation for voting is that voting, no matter what, it can make a difference. Now, young ladies and gentlemen, what voting does, voting bonds us together as a nation. This is our American flag, ladies and gentlemen. And what our American flag? We are a beautiful nation of 50 states made up together to exercise our rights to vote. And when we exercise our rights to vote, we come together, like Dr. Martin Luther King said, within peace, in love, and nonviolence. What bonding also does is that when we bond together more than what our history does, we are striving for freedom. Our bond is exercising our free will for a better life in this beautiful country. I want to ask how many of you all students, how many of you all are 18 years of age? Mostly this whole room is. All right, wonderful, wonderful. Well, because you are 18 years old, you have the right to vote. Beautiful ladies and gentlemen, please, you have the right to vote. Many of you all like to express your rights. I have the right to fight for this and I have the right to express this. So if you're old enough to fight for certain rights, let yourself know that you're old enough to vote. Your vote can help change many issues. Now, I want to express to you, beautiful people, again, I get a lot of questions asked, well, even if I vote, does my vote really matter? Because I stay in a red state. This is the state of Missouri, ladies and gentlemen. And most of the time, when you do look at what's going on, Missouri does show up as a red state, unfortunately. I'm not going to say unfortunately, but most of the time that it does. And just because you live in a red state and you want to vote blue, which is Democrat, it does not mean that your vote does not count. Also, I want to let you all know, ladies and gentlemen, please do not vote because you don't know who the candidates are, or if you don't know about any of the issues that are on the ballot. If you don't know who your candidate is or any of the local issues, this is what I want you to do. I want you to go online and I want you to do the research. Just like if you're at school and they gave you an assignment to do and you didn't know much about the assignment, what do, ladies and gentlemen? You do research. So, what I need you to do is I want you to go to Google, and this is your search engine. And I want you to type in Missouri. If you stay in the state of Missouri, if you stay in the state of Kansas, type in Kansas. I know we have several students here that are from Oklahoma and as well as from Iowa. So welcome. But what you do is you go to whatever search engine you're comfortable with. I use Google. You go to Google, you put in your state. Then as from there, it'll show you the candidates that are running in the upcoming election. It'll also show you the issues and the issues that will be on the ballot as well. It'll give you all the background that you need about your candidate, anything that they ran for, and it'll express to you as well and let you have a little bit more knowledge about the issues that will be on the vote if you choose to vote yes or no for these laws and issues to pass. I hope this helps, and I really hope that I'm getting through to you lovely people this evening. Now, I know you care about money. We all do. I know we care about healthcare issues. I know we do. We have to. We're getting older, and you want to make sure that your family's taken care of and your family's healthy. And unfortunately, those taxes is something that you young people are going to have to look forward to paying state and federal and car and store tax and state tax. And you want to keep those taxes low in your city and your state and your nation. You have to vote, ladies and gentlemen. You have to vote and letting those taxes stay down and reasonable. So what I'm trying to say as well is don't sit around and then get mad when you allow other people to make decisions for you. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you're hearing and listening to me. Please do not make other people allow them to make choices for you. So when I hear this a lot, does my vote count? You might think, hey, does a single vote have any significance? Absolutely. But see, that way of thinking gets you nowhere. So this is where the problem lies. Let's take a look at the percentage of you young people, which are also known as millennials. Sorry, I kind of have a hard time with saying it, but millennials. Only 23%, 23% of the millennials in the 2014 midterms voted. Yes, very low turnout, very low. And your generation is the one to make a change. So don't you think that was a low turnout? Yeah, it was very low. And I don't know if that came with, like I said, not knowing the candidates, not knowing the issues, just not being educated on the election itself. But I know you all look at TV. And I know months coming up to the election time, you see all these ads. And then you're thinking to yourself, do I believe what they're saying? Do they actually believe in what they are saying? Look at them spending all this money on advertising, trying to convince me that if I vote for them, they're able to make these changes for me. So this is what I want to express to you. I've been voting for 20 years. And the biggest and the most important election for me was the time to vote for President Barack Obama. The reason why it was important to me was because this was a gentleman that looked like me, that had the same values as me. Most importantly was I thought about my ancestors because I am African American. Many African Americans did not have the privilege to vote. And listening to my grandfather talk about how he would have loved to see an African American man in office meant the world to me. So I made sure I stood out on that cold November day. I remember back in 2007, very long line. I think I stood outside for around about, I'm going to say around about close to 2 hours. And I made sure my vote was heard. Even though in the back of my mind, I'm like, oh my God, will it ever happen? Will an African American man get in office? Who knows? But I knew my vote counted. I knew I voted for him. So what happened was I went home and that race was close. My anxiety was all over the place. And what happens? We got the first African American president in office. It was an amazing feeling that day. And then we didn't only get him in office for one term, we got him in office 2 terms. That I think during that time, a lot of college, everybody. I don't want to just say college students, but the college students did make up the majority. But everybody, young, old, rural, city, everybody turned out to vote during that time. And we elected the first African American president. So what I'm saying is you have to get up and vote. Even though you might have doubts, but it can happen. Your candidate or whatever issue that you feel as though that is correct will get into office. You just got to have faith. So be grateful to live in a nation where common citizens have the power to make a real change. There's so many people who fought for our freedom, and there's also a lot of people that lost their lives for freedom. The least we can do is agree to make America a greater nation is by electing good leaders. We have to make sure that the leaders we pursue are willing to push forth our ideas and values, and that will fit in our government and our nation system as a positive thing. So, look here. Your generation is the majority. You're our future. And I want to let you know you can influence some of these major issues in our city, in our state, and in our nation. All it takes is 20 minutes. And you go in there and you vote and you make your vote count. Because it really doesn't matter if you're red, green, purple. It doesn't matter. We all are different. So, ladies and gentlemen, what I'm trying to say is vote. Vote on awesome leaders. Vote on people that have your values. Keep on voting because it's important for you to choose your view, which is your values. The best way that you can to move forward and to fill out your ballot meaning electing and putting in awesome leaders. So what I'm also trying to say is make sure you're eligible to vote. So what I'm trying to say is, ladies and gentlemen, go register. Register. Please register to vote. If you have to, you can go to your local library, your local DMV. If you do not know any other places, please ask. Register to vote. Ask the people around you, hey, are you registered to vote? Hey, go here with me. If you have a friend and you hang out and that's what you're about to go do, make sure that person with you is registered and you both can register together because it's so important. And also read up on your ballots. Read up. on what you can vote for. So, young people, when November comes and when it's time to vote, I want to make sure all of you know that your voice will be heard and that when you vote, you're making a change in this beautiful, beautiful world. Sometimes, doesn't it feel good? I know when I leave out from voting and they give me that I went to vote sticker, it feels good to put it on, because you voted, you did something good, something good is going to happen because this was your choice. This is something you had a free will to do. Young ladies and gentlemen, this is something your parents, your grandparents, your friends can influence you to do. This is your choice and your freedom and your time to make a change and to feel good about it. Absolutely. So, what I want to say again is go vote. I want to leave you here with a quote from Professor Gary Olson. He said, "Without the vote of a free man, I am a slave without the power to make decisions." Absolutely. So what he's saying is, you don't go vote. You gave the power to somebody else. Yes. So I want to thank you for your time. I want to thank you for allowing me to speak on Senior and College Day. And I hope you all enjoy the rest of your day. But I left a little saying right here. It says, keep calm and vote, beautiful people, and vote. Again, thank you so much for your time.